All right, let's settle in. All right, calm down. Calm down. Just settle in. Have a seat. Relax. I know you got that busy mind lately, but just let's chill, okay? Let's just chill for a moment. Let's decompress together. Let us become grounded together, okay? Let's connect. What do you say? Let's connect. It's so busy right now that it's like we barely had time to understand that there were astronauts in space, right? Was it just me, or did no one give a fuck that astronauts were heading out to the moon to take some pictures of the dark side of the moon? And if I'm saying this and you're like, what happened? It's called Artemis. A-R-T. You're like, I don't need the spelling, but maybe some info. And I don't even have that much info, but maybe that's the point, is that it was just like a side story. No one gives a shit about anything for more than 24 hours. But in 1969, don't you feel like the whole nation was captivated with one step for man, one giant step for mankind, right? Don't you picture your grandparents cuddled up next to the TV? 1969, to see that big moment, Neil Armstrong bouncing around, that gravelly picture, that distorted audio. And I know you could say, it meant something, man, it meant something with the Cold War going on. We had to beat them. We had to beat Yuri Gagarin up to outer space. Hey, Americans, how do my nuts look from down there? Hey, Americans, what do you say we launch Sputnik satellite? We launch missiles into your living rooms. You bow down, you kiss our rings. We have sex with your wives. We spread communism all around the world. And you take the big L. Nope. We're not taking the L. We're going to pump that money into NASA. We're going to take one giant step for man. Seems like it meant something. No one gave a shit that Artemis was taking pictures of the moon. You know, step on that bitch. That's my response. It's 2026. We got AI robots who are able to monitor the whole planet. Basically create everything that humans can't create. And we're just taking pictures of the dark side of the moon? You didn't think I'd be heckling astronauts on this episode. Go run around that bitch. I saw pictures of the dark side of the moon. It's exactly what I thought it would look like. I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's the moon, the dark side of what else? They said some profound things when they came down, and then I saw the footage of that big old capsule splashing into the Pacific Ocean, and I didn't feel anything. Am I dead inside, or is it just like, that's a passing story, that's a passing story? What, everyone just cares about Epstein? Or the Strait of Hormuz? What do people care about right now? Like, what are the top things people care about? Do you care about the war in Iran? And we all used to say Iran, and now we're slowly learning Iran. It's like you say Qatar. Nope, guess what? It's pronounced Qatar. Yep, like C-U-T-T-E-R, but we're all running around saying Qatar, 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 like a bunch of morons. And I'm here to tell you it's Qatar. It's Qatar, and it's Iran, and it's the Strait of Hormuz. And now everyone's acting like they're experts on the Strait of Hormuz. How many straits can you even name? Honestly, I didn't know Hormuz a couple of months ago, and now I'm going to try to sound like an expert on the Strait of Hormuz. But before that, I think my knowledge was pretty much Gibraltar. What's your favorite strait? I like Gibraltar. What else? Bering. And I'm done. I'm not even going to Google this. And now you're throwing Hormuz into my world? What am I going to do with that? I guess I'm going to have to look up, why is this important? And now every pundit on TV and radio and podcasts and newspaper editorialists are going to be talking about the Strait of Hormuz and how, all the oil's going through it? That's where we ship most of the oil supply. And we're saying, hey, open up that strait. And Iran's saying, we will not open up that strait. And we go, you open that strait or we're going to fight you. And then our president says mean things, and he posts mean things on his social media account. And it's almost like a performance. This isn't real government. I mean, it's real death. It's real war. But the back and forth, Tehran to DC, Tehran to DC. I mean, is this a real exchange or is this just social media beef sometimes? I don't know, but everyone who's like now talking about it like they're an expert, it kind of bugs me. It's like the whole situation in Gaza is pretty complex, right? But if someone just like, I saw a TikTok recently about how shitty they're being to those people. Yeah, this is thousands and thousands of years of Middle Eastern conflict, of people feeling oppressed and persecuted. And it's the ugliest shit ever. But now with the quick hitter headlines, it allows enough people to feel informed to the point where they could just spout off. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm on Team Israel. Well, I'm on Team Hamas. I'm on Team Gaza Strip. And we're like, what? You're on Team Gaza Strip? I'm on Team Palestine. And everyone's picking teams with the minimal amount of information out there. I mean, some people are really informed and can have a healthy debate, but when I overhear a lot of the conversations or see what people are posting, I'm like, I think you just read the most recent post on Twitter or X or Instagram, and you're rolling with it. Now you're passionate about it. Now you're virtually signaling to the world, I'm woke and I understand who's at fault and I understand the aggressor. I think there's a lot of nuance to all this shit, and that's why I hereby declare myself no longer affiliated with any of this party shit. Nope, don't call me a liberal, don't call me a conservative, don't call me a Republican, don't call me a Democrat. I don't want to be on teams. I'm done with teams. I just want to be issue by issue. You could ask me how I feel about all the issues, and then you could label me. But I like to just think about, let's discuss this issue and that issue, not this blanket statement of, I'm always on this side of every debate. Nope, can't do it anymore. Can't do it. It's too childish, right? That's my leader. That's my guy. Whatever he says, whatever she says, I support. Then I yell at the other team. No, we're not yelling anymore. A little examination into the issue. And then you talk to people. You don't yell at them. You say, what do you know about this? What do you think about this? What else should we learn about this? Instead, it's just like I read the headline that the Strait of Hormuz is being controlled by Iran. And because I'm in America, I hate them. I want the oil to be ours. I hate that they're controlling the Strait of Hormuz. So when Trump says, I'm going to fucking blow everything up and bring it back to the Stone Age, I guess that's our president doing what's best for us. And now I'm paying $7.19 at the pump. How was that rant? I don't know. It's a good intro? Good intro rant? Or you think I should have rewrote that? Should I have checked in with AI? Should I have AI write this fucking podcast? Stop swearing. AI would tell me right out of the gates, you could just do your podcast without all the profanity. Maybe you would attract some new listeners. Some new, well-behaved, maybe Mormon, maybe, who else is a group of people that are probably well-behaved and don't swear? Amish. I'm looking for more Amish listeners. Quakers. Who else? Just good old-fashioned Bible Belt Christians of the South and Midwest. I'm looking for those listeners. They don't need all this profanity. They don't need it. They need wholesome Easter talk, which I got. I actually have wholesome Easter talk today. I realized it's too much. It's too much sugar. What the fuck are we doing to these kids? Every holiday, every birthday, every event, every menu, just shoving sugar through these little kids, getting them addicted out of the gates, putting them on the path to diabetes and obesity. We're doing it. Why are we doing this? Seriously, this is serious right now, folks. This is serious. Kids' menu options, they're all terrible for you, all of them. Go to a restaurant. You order what you want, and then when you get to the kids' menu, you're going to have a bucket of cheese, corn dog, nachos, butter noodles, grilled cheese, quesadilla. And that comes with a side of French fries and curly fries and a little soft serve at the end, a little soda pop, too. Or a juice that's 70% sugar. Y'all ready? You ready to order? What are you going to have? And parents, we just sit there and going, she'll have the butter noodles with the soft serve, and then my other one's going to have a slice of pizza with some fries and a hot dog on top, and then she's going to have pudding, bucket of cheese and bucket of pudding, and they're both going to have the corn dog special, and then they each take a little bite, and then the parents are going to get fat too because we're going to eat all the scraps. We're going to wait for the kids to stop eating, and then our hands can't stop going to their plates, and then what are we doing? I mean, seriously, with the sugar, okay, kids' menu, it's never going to change. I don't think we're ever going to see that change. But with Easter and by the way, I'm Jewish. I'm not even celebrating Easter, but you can't just deprive your kids of a hunt. You can't say our kids don't hunt for Easter eggs. They hunt for the eggs. So we went to this really nice event in the neighborhood where all the kids led by the firefighters. It was like a parade around the streets. It was so cute. But every egg is just filled with all the candy that we know from Halloween, but now it's packaged in pink and purple. You know, the Easter colors that we just use to package chocolate? Now the kids get to search for the eggs. And one of my girls got like 30 eggs and the other got 11, and then they combined forces. And I was just like, oh my God, goodbye to your teeth. Goodbye, enamel. What do we do? How do we even ref this? I was like, okay, we're just doing chocolate for this. We did chocolate for Valentine's Day. Okay, every birthday party, it's just ice cream and cake and goodie bags full of ring pops and fun dip. Fun dip with that white stick going straight to the sugar, and they love Pez, and all the Pez dispensers are designed. We're just going to fucking destroy these kids. And they're going to wake up, and one day they're going to have withdrawals. And they're going to go, how do I eat well? How do I even explore a grocery store? I didn't know how myself. The first time I went grocery shopping, do you remember your first time going grocery shopping when you're uninformed about anything and you just buy Tampico? You're like, is this orange juice? This Mexican orange drink that's 95% sugar? I got Tampico, and I thought that was juice. And then I bought 10 packs of ramen, and I got all the Chef Boyardee, and I got that 99-cent loaf of white bread. And then I had someone older than me buy me the $2 bottle of wine. What is that, Barefoot? You know that brand? Barefoot or Yellowtail? What are all those shitty bottles of wine at the bottom? And I'm like, all right, it's time to go for fruit. No, don't have enough money for fruit. I guess it's just ramen, Chef Boyardee, and Tampico. Who's educating me on any of this shit? Huh? Sodium? You think I ever learned about sodium? I didn't realize you can't drink the pickle juice. I still do a little bit. I used to drink soy sauce. You think I'm making this shit up? I'm sorry to say I used to drink soy sauce, and I still kind of do. But I felt the need to say used to because I'm 44 now. But back to what we're doing to the kids. The kids and all the holidays. It's not just Valentine's Day and Easter and Halloween. It's St. Patty's. Hey, we're going to take that candy and now we're going to wrap it in green foil. You name the holiday. You name it, even Hanukkah, the Jews, we're giving them jelly donuts. Okay, we're giving them, what else are we doing? Macaroons on Passover. And what are you doing, you Christians with the candy canes? Just a little candy cane. Santa came down, a little candy cane. You little candy cane. And with your peeps, with your Easter peeps, we're going to kill these kids. Oh, we're going camping? How about some s'mores? Eat a little bit of s'mores? Oh, we're going to play bobbing for apples? Actually, that's fine. Why did I say bobbing for apples? Apples is probably fine. But I went to this Oakview event with my girl Remy, and they had us eating donuts off a string as they pulled the donut up and down like a piñata, and they got all these kids looking like Bubble Bobble, the old Nintendo game, bobble, 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 eating donuts off a string like a bunch of fat little toddlers. Holy cannoli. And then they grow up with body image issues, and that's not just because of social media. They grow up with body image issues because you know how hard it is to look in the mirror after you celebrate any holiday in this country. It causes adults to do a dry January detox. But all holidays, you just kind of get spilled out into the next week of life feeling like, oh, my stomach. I'm glazed over my eyes. Am I blind? At least that's how it is. And then you got to go, oh, all right, ChatGPT, how do I eat well again? And then ChatGPT says, well, you got to fast in the morning and maybe some oats and maybe some nuts. And you shouldn't eat that and you shouldn't eat that and avoid that. And you're like, okay, it's not fun anymore. And then, of course, you just spend your life tempted by the fruit of a candy store. Like the old song. Oh, speaking of the old song, let's get into it today, huh?
Who's the man with the farmer's tan? Hotel slippers, margarita in his hand. Lots of juice, lots of spice. Me and Montezuma gonna roll the dice.
Oh, shit. Is that the coolest shit you ever heard? That's hot. I'm still on a quest to find music that makes me feel something, right? Don't you want art to make you feel something? I hadn't seen a movie forever. We watched Train Dreams on Netflix. It was fine. It made me feel something, though, for a few moments. Did I cry? No. I only cry at La Bamba, as we know, but still, Train Dreams, pretty good. And you know what I like? It's like only an hour and a half. If anyone recommends a movie that's like, you haven't seen one battle after another, it's 3.5. Nope. You haven't seen The Irishman, 3.5. Nope. 3.5 hours. I can't. I won't. I'll watch Euphoria which kind of feels like a mini movie each episode, but I can't sit for 3.5. I can't sit for more than one. And I realize that's sad because even if I had the house to myself and just blankets on the couch and baseball on TV and rain on the roof, I would either fall asleep, and I had that situation. It was so nice, so blissful, but I didn't even have the mental energy to actually watch something for over an hour. I just have a list of things I want to get to, and then I just fall. I'm at the age where you're just so busy and exhausted, you have unplanned naps. You just wake up at a later part of the day. You're like, all right, 3:30, the game's starting. It's the fourth quarter. You woke up and you're like, what happened? Everyone, what did you do in the last hour? What did we all do? It's like time travel. But what was I talking about? Oh, yes. Yes, I remember. Easter. I'm done with the candy. I'm done with the egg hunts. Actually, I think it'd be more appealing to actually give these kids some theology education. Just have some minister, some pastor, some priest come out. They all think it's going to be a big egg hunt. Instead, just bring the pulpit out like it's the Great Awakening. Bring some guy out to the field. In Corinthians, the kid's like, what the fuck? In the Testament in Corinthians, in the crucifixion of our Lord, he has risen. And everyone on Facebook, he has risen. I'm off Facebook, actually. I tell you that? I got off Facebook. And just like everyone says, you won't miss it. I don't miss it. Scrolling through angry comments directed at people I know. I don't like that. And it would put me in a shitty mood. And I realized, wait, you're doing that to yourself. That's a self-inflicted shitty mood. So you just stop. You take the app off the phone and you don't log in again. You're like, I'm off Facebook. It feels good. But what was I saying about Corinthians? Which I don't know what that is. Testaments and testicles. Yeah, have some preacher come out. Really talk to the kids. That'd be a more exciting Easter for me than watching them all get cavities and plow through all that candy and say, we're celebrating. You're not celebrating. These kids aren't celebrating anything. They're just sitting Indian style, crisscross applesauce, on someone's lawn, eating a bunch of Twix. No, I want to learn. Tell me, he has risen. What's the story? It sounds interesting. The Messiah, the Lamb of God, he had risen. Corinthians, Deuteronomy and Leviticus. Of course, he has risen. Crucifixion. Is he going to rhyme? The Messiah to the heavens, all the way. Redeem him, the Messiah, with the Easter bunny's ball sack upon us. You go, what is that last part he said? The Easter bunny and the ball sack upon us of Corinthians, Leviticus. You go, I don't know if this guy knows much about the holiday, but neither do any of us. That's why we just tell the kids, look for the eggs. We're so dumb. Look for the eggs. Look for the eggs behind the lawn and next to the lawn ornaments, and then look for the eggs. What are we doing throughout this country? Get the kids addicted to fat shit and candy and look for the eggs? And then what about the next holiday? Look for the eggs? No, you got to package it differently for the next holiday. Look for the hearts? Yep. And then look for the candy shamrocks? Yeah, look for the candy shamrocks. Look for the candy canes? Yeah. And stuff the stocking with eggs? Yeah, you can stuff it with eggs. Fuck it. Who cares, right? Who cares about any of this shit? Oh boy, stop swearing. You're going to lose your Amish crowd. Where are all my Amish listeners at? And is that real? I know we've all heard about it, but really, what are they doing? That's someone that knows nothing about the Amish, except they don't use electricity. And maybe that would be the path to a healthier life. Except, what do you mean, no AC? I know when it's, I say no heat, they could make a fire, but on a hot night, how do you do no electricity air conditioning? That rant came up short. You thought there was going to be something profound, more Amish jokes? No, sir, not me. I'll just say power to them. This is going to be controversial. When I say power to them, I'm going to sound very judgmental for a moment, if you don't mind. I like sports docs. You know this. I like watching, the NFL docs where they follow some quarterbacks or follow some receivers or Hard Knocks. I watch it all, and then the NBA players, they get their own, and hockey and MLB, they let camera crews follow them. And because I'm a sports fan, they seem like the superhero in all these documentaries, and they sign autographs, and people wear their jerseys, and they're very famous, and they mean a lot to their fans. But then when they go home with them, and then you see the wife raising the kids all day, and the wife is, in yoga pants and just a loose blouse, and she looks beautiful but also tired because she's been there all day. And I know there's probably nannies and au pairs and butlers. I get that. But they introduce them, like the graphic on the screen is always like, quarterback's wife or wide receiver's wife or point guard's wife. And I'm like, that's your title, huh? Oh, okay. And I was starting to notice this, like they're an accessory. But this is, it's not like they're enslaved. It's not like they're being tortured. Perhaps they even like this life. But for some reason, I was like, I don't know. In 2026, to see women still just follow in the shadow of their famous sports husband. And then they show them at the games, like just so into every play, crying if their husband's team loses and then celebrating in their luxury box. You've seen this, what I'm saying, right? And for some reason, it rubs me the wrong way. They're just like accessories. And I was saying all this to my wife. I was like, I like sports stocks, but why are the wives getting so much attention just for being like these super fans of their husbands who are supposed to just make sure the house is so clean, raise the kids. And then when daddy comes home, just tell daddy, we've been talking about you all day. We watched you on TV. He learned how to throw a ball just like you. And they say all these things to just hype up daddy's ego. But then when daddy leaves and the camera crew leaves, does the mom just go back to that like quiet house with these kids crying, feeding them mush, feeding them Peeps? I don't know. So as I'm explaining this, my wife's like, oh yeah, you've heard of trad wives? And I'm like, nope. Is this something on the old Instagram? Trad wife. It means there are plenty of women in this country who do embrace the roles of traditional wives. We cook the meals for the family. We drive the kids to school and practice. We are not the breadwinners technically, but we're the homemakers. And when I say that out loud, it sounds like a step in the wrong direction because women have had to fight for the right to vote and fight for anti-discrimination in the workplace and for, positions of power in politics and access to education. We've learned about how this fight, women's liberation and suffrage, has resulted in great opportunities. So when I look at girls, like my two girls, I go, you have opportunities. Seize the opportunities. Take those opportunities. So here's the controversial part. If I was like, I don't want my girls to just be on a sports doc. Like, what if my girls are women one day and they're introduced in a documentary as like Tommy Johnson's wife, and they show her in the luxury box just cheering, and that's her life. And I'm like, what did you do? You didn't find what you were good at. Patrick Mahomes' wife. What are you good at? I think she's a former soccer player. That's just one example. Kirk Cousins' wife. What are you good at? There's probably a long list of shit you're good at. And I know you could be very good at raising the kids, and that's impressive too. Actually, it's not just impressive, it's essential. But the whole trad wife movement is a wake-up call that not everybody is so progressive and on this path to like, let's keep getting more rights and more freedom, and let's keep pushing the glass ceiling. Some people are like, I don't know if it's brainwashed. I don't know if it's that extreme, but some people are like, we kind of like our role, how it used to be, how it was. We're comfortable in it. We don't mind just being arm candy or trophy wife, trad wife, whatever it is. But I'm like, no, go get a career. Go get some degrees. Explore what you're good at. Find out. And then if after all that shit, you're like, you know what, even after I have sampled the world, I still just want to stay home, keep the house clean, cook the meals, drive the kids, then that's fine. But I don't think it's like a lifelong path to be on. All right, did I just ruffle some feathers? Yeah, is that why you tuned in? You want some feathers ruffled? I'll say some shit today. I'll say some shit. I don't want to raise no trad wives. However, if I met some trad wives, I always have to backtrack a little bit. I bet they're very nice people. I bet they're very nice. I don't want to insult them. I sound a little judgmental, of course. But I think we want to see progress. We want to see flag football for girls become a college sport. And then there's actually professional tackle football leagues for girls now. My buddy's a coach of one of the teams, and I'm like so impressed because I've seen some highlights. I'm like, damn, they're fucking hitting hard. They're hitting hard. All right? Don't you doubt them, pal. Don't you dare doubt them. All right. Speaking of a controversial episode, let's play a quick game of Is This Racist? My wife and I, we have a landscaper, and he does some gardening, and they take care of the plants. They do a great job. We pay him twice a month. Fantastic. Welcome to the suburbs. We didn't create the system. We're just caught up in this rat race too. So we discovered that our shed outside, we got a shed in the back. It's full of rat shit, just tons of rat shit. And my wife's like, that could be toxic. And that's not a good impression of how she talks. And she's like, that could be toxic. Ugh. What if everything about my wife was the same, but she just sounded like that? I don't think it would work. Would this marriage work? If I came home and she's like, when are you done? I'm like, just coming home from work. We're going to have hot pockets tonight. I'm like, hot pockets? The fuck? Just kidding. We're going to have Dunkaroos. We're going to have Dunkaroos, the old snack from the late 90s? Yeah. And shark bites. You remember shark bites and Dunkaroos? What are some other snacks from that era? Of course, fruit by the foot. Handy snacks with the red spreader. It's not a knife. It's not a fork or a spoon. It's its own handy snacks. Red spreader. We're going to have honey snacks. No, but she was like, we have rat shit all over the shed. And I was like, we have rat shit all over the shed? She's like, yeah, that's what I said. Fuck, shut up. Rat shit. Go clean it. No, she normally said to me, we're not really supposed to clean that without a mask. And then we have to fumigate and deoxygenize. I don't know any of these words. Chances are she didn't say any of those words. Then we have to say Corinthians, the Messiahs leapt up to the heavenly, what's a good word about heavenly? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. And the Messiah and the heavenly, and Corinthians with the eggs hunting, celestial. That's what I wanted. Celestial. God, words. Can't find words sometimes when the brain ain't relaxed because I've been sleeping poorly again because I have stomach aches in the middle of the night. And usually it's just big farts that need to come out, but you don't want to fart so loud and wake up your wife. What are we going to do with me? Anywho. So she was like, you can't just clean up rat shit. It's toxic. And then I was like, could we ask Osvaldo? And she's like, could we? And we almost did. But she said, I don't know. Is that racist to ask someone whose specialty is gardening and landscaping? And I was like, it's kind of an outside thing, right? Cleaning up rat shit in a shed. But we ultimately decided not to. Okay, that's how that story ends. We were too worried about being perceived as like the elite white people in the castle who tell the help, go clean the rat shit. We were so scared of coming across that. I was like, tell them we'll pay him extra. But we didn't. I guess I'm going to have to clean my own rat shit. I guess that's how that tale ends. You know that old tale. But he's the best. Let me promote him right now. Osvaldo's Landscaping and Gardening, Marin County. Oh my God, is this guy good? One of the best, okay? His relationship with plants, it's amazing. It's better than any relationship I've ever seen. And I'm in a good relationship, although every week I have a dream. Every single week of my life, I have a dream that my wife's leaving me, but it's not like she's angry with me. She's still nice to me. It's the weirdest kind of breakup where she has to explain, I just don't feel that love anymore. And then it's the idea of, wait, what do you mean? What do we do with the girls? We already have kids. And it's the idea of split custody. I have these nightmares. They're horrific dreams where all of a sudden someone has to move out and then someone gets an apartment and kids are just thrown between two families. I had 90% of my friends growing up with divorced parents. Barely any of them had split custody. It was just usually just stayed with mom. That was it growing up. But one friend, Josh Friday, who's running for lieutenant governor of the state of California, he was one of the few who had split custody. And we had fun at both parents' houses. But most of us were just like, yeah, no, you're staying with mom. And then in this dream, I don't know, is it insecurity? What is it? Let's unpack this. Let's do some dream analysis. Is it self-esteem? And I wake up and I give her a hug and I go, oh, good, you're still here. But it feels so real that she's leaving. And I don't get to see all these special moments with the kids. Maybe that's my biggest fear. I mean, rattlesnakes too. I'm still very scared of rattlesnakes, but also very scared, I guess, of, missing any of these precious moments. And the only way to miss the precious moments is if someone's got to move. And in this house, no one's moving, folks. We're doing okay. We have a good relationship, like Osvaldo's relationship with all the foliage in our yard. Is there anything else to talk about? I feel like I'm trying to squeeze so much in. I'm trying to squeeze it in. We hit the Strait of Hormuz. I could pretend I know more about that. We talked a little bit about tradwives. Oh, how about body image? Just setting up all these kids to look back and go, okay, I crave too much shitty stuff because I was raised on shitty stuff. Even parents that have the healthiest intentions, you can't guard them from holiday food and restaurant kids menu food. You just can't. And then they grow up and they have to reinvent their relationship with food and fitness. And then it gets so extreme that once you age past that and you get to your 30s, 40s, 50s, you start going, oh, I don't like the wrinkles. So you start to get Botox and injections and facelifts and you break some of the bones in your face. And then you you get in your 70s and you're like, oh shit, yoga pants aren't holding it up anymore. So now I'm going to get a tummy tuck, a thigh tuck, a knee tuck. I'm going to tuck the titties. I'm going to tuck that ass. I'm going to tuck it all. And then by 85, you're all untucked and you just look like someone's marionette, someone's puppet that fell out of the closet, that fell out of the attic late at night. You're like, holy shit. Look at great grandma. She spent her life with body image issues because in the 1920s, they fed her too much Easter candy and corn dogs at the kids' menus. And then she grew up and she had to reinvent her relationship with food. And then she didn't like her image. And it spiraled into tummy tucks and titty tucks and facelifts and Botox. And then she just fell out of the fucking attic. God. Is that how we're all going to go? We can't have these body image issues. Here I am, 44. I'm still standing on the scale once in a while going, oh, I want to see this number. And I actually have a moment of like, feeling failure if I'm 3-4 pounds away from that number. What am I doing? What are we doing? I should just have a grilled cheese tonight and not feel the need to just have tofu on a plate. Boring ass. Fuck you, tofu. Boring, dumb, stupid ass. Bullshit tofu in a pan. We always talk about tofu when we go to Trader Joe's. Speaking of Trader Joe's, there's a comic named Chris Fleming who has the greatest bit. I'll leave you with this, and then you go away from me and go to YouTube. Just type in Chris Fleming, Trader Joe's. His bit about how women see snacks at Trader Joe's that no one else can see. No man can ever discover what's really at Trader Joe's. It's just the greatest bit. So yeah, I'll promote a comic named Chris Fleming. His new special on HBO is pretty good. It's pretty flamboyant, folks. It's like nothing you've ever seen. All right, that's it for this episode. I'm going to go back to Terra Linda, bring a couple of volleyballs, bring a couple of daughters, watch some high school baseball because I find high school sports to be way more interesting than anything happening professionally or collegiately. Guess what? I don't want to say collegiately anymore. That doesn't exist. That's professional too. Professional, but you have a college uniform on, or professionally because you're actually in a professional league. But all these guys jumping around school to school with the likeness and NIL money and the player portal, and holy mother, don't go on another rant. Just let your listeners go. Have a nice day, everyone. I wish you health. I wish you peace of mind. I wish you calmness in your soul. I really do. If you're spending some time with me on this podcast, I wish you well. And even if you're not listening to this, then God, I do not wish you anything but the worst until you discover this podcast. I just hope you rot in hell. But now that you're here and you're actually listening to this, oh my God, you precious being. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking a ride all the way through the Strait of Hormuz. They should offer cruises on this, like real live action cruises on the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, it's a blockade. Oh, the Ayatollah's so pissed he's going to shoot at the cruise ship. You know, it's like some Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean type stuff. Yeah. All right. This one's done. Peace.